All right, cool.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Zay?
How you doing?
Good. My little cousin Zay, man. Zaido.
Yeah, I'm on the podcast, man. What's up?
It's good, man. I'm happy to have you on. I've been waiting to put a family member on here because I wanted to wait, to get the build up a little bit. So today you're going to be my season finale episode.
Really? It's crazy.
For season 1.
That's nuts.
All right.
It's a big finish.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited to chat with you. How old are you now again? 23?
Yeah, 25. It's crazy.
Oh, whoa. Wait, you 25 already?
Yeah. I'm a quarter, man.
Oh, you're the same age with Marissa.
Yeah. I'm older.
It's D'Artagnan. Damn, so that means D'Artagnan is like, what, 27, 28?
Yeah. 27.
Good Lord, we're getting old. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
You've done this before. So
Yeah, for sure.
You've been on podcasts before. And, how was those experiences?
Different. It's not a family member, I don't know. Just talk. I just talk. I just tell the truth. Like whatever the questions they ask, I just go with it. They're a blur. They're just like you just rant or ramble for like a hour or whatever the time is, and then it cuts off, and whatever saved is saved and makes it. I've done it a couple times actually. One of the times it didn't air until super late.
But I thought you were going to start one.
Oh yeah, myself. And I'm just like,
You hear me clear, right?
Yeah.
Like you hear me clear and everything?
Yeah.
The same way you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, lately I've been like I want to play like kind of like behind the scenes type thing. Like I want to like, if I could have somebody else, do it.
Yeah.
And I facilitate.
Well, that's why you got to come to Vision
what I'm
13
saying?
Studios.
Yeah.
I know. See, right now, what I talked about this, I think, on my previous episode where I was talking to a friend of mine and we were talking about the way of today is the one-man band. You just by yourself and you do everything yourself. And to some degree you can now, but sometimes you need help. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's cool to collaborate. And I know you have your boys and stuff that you collaborate with. But sometimes when you need that help or you're trying to build something, like billionaires are not billionaires by themselves. They may have the idea. They may have, the concept or the money to get, but they're not building. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple by himself.
That's true. Yeah.
All these guys didn't build by themselves. So if you got friends, you got family, reach out to somebody sometimes, That's the mistake I made when I was coming up, is that I would not, I would ask, but it was only when it's something big and major. But the little stuff I would just by myself, and it took longer, but it hurt in the long run because it took longer. It wasn't as good because I didn't have more people to collaborate with to make it better. So if you have stuff, bro, I'm your big cousin. You want to come use the studio, just hit me up, be like, yo, I want to come use the studio.
Sure.
Whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you want to do stuff like that, definitely reach out. But yeah, man, so I know recently you probably deleted a lot of your stuff off of your page.
Yeah, now not recently. Like I've kind of always deleted.
Oh, you always
like kept it to like a certain amount of like that were there.
Yeah. And what's crazy is you still have a lot of followers.
For a very long time. Yeah.
But how? So I mean, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna get to your post in a second. But like one thing that I was always like, I admired by you is that you're a go-getter. And one of the things that from a long time ago, and you even was doing this for your mom's, actually bring the mic down a little bit because it's
it's like right in my nose, right? Like
just turn it like this. Look, just turn it like this. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, but point it at you, but just not,
like down like this.
Yeah, that's
all right. Cool.
Is that like with social media and things like that? Like you've been pretty on it. You've been like, how to like get the followers and you get the views. Like, go ahead.
I figured it out a little bit.
How like, what is it? Is it just something that, God, and I hate to call it your generation because then that makes me feel like I'm old.
like a millennial thing? Like,
yeah, but like.
No, it's definitely not a millennial thing.
Yeah, because.
No. It's definitely, there's, it's you got to be honest with you. Like when you want to go get it, right? And it started from music, right? So I wanted to do music really bad. And I was like, dude, my dad really believed in the fact that I could do music, right? So he allowed me to stay at his house. And I created this crazy, like, rig of a setup, right? Of a desk, like just like double, like a bunk bed TV setup, like this bedroom studio setup, right? And I bought all these things, and I had really like a lot of confidence in the music, right? So I'm like, I know if I get people to hear it based off the people that are around me, if people hear it, they're gonna like the music. Like I've gone to the gas station at that time, and like had a guy put my beats on, and him listen like, yo, that's just hard. I'm like, yo, I got it. Like I just knew it at the time. Like there's no one can tell me that I'm not about to do this shit, right? So the only thing I needed was people to listen to it and genuinely like get into it, right? So this is all like self kind of like taught things. And at the time, there are these like different softwares and things that you can like purchase and buy, right? So I went on the internet, I found like one of these softwares, and the software would allow me to do different like activities on social like platforms, right? And it would do them for me automatically, right? And it seemed like it's not a big deal, but time saving is the biggest thing in the world, right? So there's many things that you can actually accomplish, you know, without having to take up your actual time, the better, right? So you're two places at once, essentially, and multitasking constantly, right? Social media is an easy platform. It's straightforward. It shows you exactly how to use it. Everyone knows exactly how to use it, right? So based on what you need to use it for, you can manipulate what you're using, right? But you have to have the mindset to manipulate for whatever you're using it for, right? So let's say I'm looking at social media like a regular user, right? I'm think of it. I'm Stephanie. I have 3 kids. And I just want to post pictures of my family and for my coworkers and my immediate family, right? So I use it and I like pictures based off of that, you know, that behavior. Now let's say I change it into the point where I know that this is a tool. This is a tool now. This is a tool. I'm not using it to sit there and like the fact that you were out with the boys. I'm not sitting here to say hi to the fam. I'm not sitting here to, no, you know, this is a tool, right? So if I want to generate enough people, these are real lives that I can contact off the internet now, because thank God for the internet, right? Now I have a tool that allows me to touch people's lives that I'm nowhere near, anywhere in the world that gets close to anything that's in my radius on the internet. My little web that I make on the internet, right? So at that point, you have to realize, like, when you're looking for I need enough eyes because I'm confident that my cookies are going to sell off the shelf, right? Then you're going to try to get as many people to see your cookies as possible, right? And the only way that you're going to do that is by touching as many lives as possible, right? Before the internet, the only way that this was possible was going out on the avenue, right? And having your own setup, having your own
like
CD, having your own shirt, having your own, and giving it out damn near for free, right? Just to spread exposure until you can charge serious money for it, right? That would be the original hustle, right? Now we have the internet in our pockets. We have supercomputers in our pockets, right? And we could touch lives, right, from the comfort of our couch, right? So you have to abuse the fact that you can do that. And that's what social media allows you to do. And I realized that when I was sitting there trying to sit there, I wasn't going out. At that time, I wasn't going out. I was waking up every day, smoking a ton of weed, waking up every day, right? Making music all day, all night, right? All day, all night. My dad allowed me to make music all day, all night. I'm going to abuse the fact that I can make music all day, all night, right? So I sat there and did that, right? And while I did that, then the next step became, you know, getting people to hear my music, so that I understood that social media should be used as that tool. With the software that I found, it would automate these actions for me, like liking people's pictures or just things that people would do, you know, as time got on, I got more in depth with using the interface, like customizing the interface, because it had customizable features. So I can set up my own like actions for even new features that would come out for any social media that would be there. So when stories came out and different things like that, watching stories, I swear to God, at a point, I probably watched like 28,000 stories a day.
Wow.
And I was not watching 28,000 stories a day. You get what I'm saying? So, but it was just for the fact of my face being there. and maybe one day you'll click on my face, and one day you'll and like what you see, and that would be one of the things, but that wouldn't be the biggest thing to generate, right? There was so many factors. When you start getting into it, you start looking at the mind as a different thing, right? When you're dealing with stuff like that, because a lot of it is the mind, right? Social media has everybody's head like gripped. So a lot of what you're doing is, manipulating someone else's mind, right? Essentially from the comfort of your couch, you're sitting there with an app because they're manipulating your mind, giving me the power to manipulate your mind, right? That's really what it is, right? So I started to understand, like, being honest about it, right? I knew what I was doing was a delicate thing, right? I'm actually talking to people. I understand I can't spam people, right? I can get blacklisted by people. People can decide to never, look at my stuff again, depending on how I interact with this person, right? So it's a very delicate thing that you're dealing with. So I took the better step of the other sides to do, and not just spam or just treat people like garbage and, like they're not worth anything. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm asking these people to honestly listen and honestly participate in what I have and believe in. I have to be honest and participate in whatever they have and believe. I have to be honest and be genuine with whatever they're doing, right? So I came up with the idea of using my software, right, to send automatic DMs for me, right? Because I would have to, be genuine about what I'm doing. I couldn't just set my software up and just no way. There's no way. There's actually no way, right? So I would set up just to send out for everyone who would follow me. Hey, when I first started doing this, I made so many mistakes. I used to start off with like a crazy, like, oh, this is my video. I used to do that, right? And I was one of those people that you would see them. You would see the people that would get you, follow you, and then you could pick what you say when you figure out the upper echelons of those softwares. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got to think about it, there's a person that they probably paid for them to go and use that software. So they have limitation to what they put there. You know what I'm saying? I was a person that was getting paid to put whatever for other people, right? So that's why when you bringing news for my mom, or I got my dad's wife's Instagram business like 10,000 followers in like a couple months. That. Yeah, like doing different things. I was able to help other people with it because of the fact that, it would all be generating by itself, right? Yeah. So I was the person that would get paid essentially to run these things that people would go to. But it wasn't me. It was software, but all it did was the things that you couldn't do all day, right? And the problem with that, of course, before I go back into what I was telling you, the problem with that are limitations, right? There's these limitations, daily limitations for Instagram, Twitter, and all these things. At one point, Twitter's limitations were ridiculous, and you could abuse Twitter. There's a point in time where, like, dude, if anyone wanted to be anybody, you could have just destroyed Twitter. Now, Twitter is a very hard place to deal with. There's a lot of limitations. There's a lot of, strict rules. But, like, at the time, it was like you could literally, there's no limit to follows on Twitter at the time. You can follow 1,000 people a day on Twitter without getting blocked at a time. So think about that. If you could automate that, that's disgusting, right? Yeah. You can automate 1,000 people a day, right? In 30 days, you follow 30,000 people. If you get a 10% return, you're chilling. Yeah. In a month, you're chilling, right? Yeah, you're chilling, right? So, earlier on, things were easier for sure, but you had to keep up with how times changed is the point I'm trying to make. So these limitations would change, and you have to make sure you don't get accounts blocked or banned and these things because of the actions being so much, right? So you try to like stay on the line, right? But one of the things that I realized worked for me the most was always the genuine interactions with people, right? I can sit there and automate being your best friend, right? I can set up me liking every single picture that you post when you post it, right? Right, and I could just make sure that my thing does that, so that I don't have to do it, and I could be chilling. I could go to, and I don't never have to touch social media. Social media has no effect on my brain. I'm using it as a tool as I'm supposed to, right? But you probably have it as like, oh, I'm liking all your pictures. I'm always I have no idea what's going on right now. I have no idea, right? So the genuine aspect of it comes to play because it's like that's what's gonna make that relationship genuine. That's what's gonna make it real. That's what's gonna make that. That's what's gonna be that glue. That's just not gonna be like, I'm across the room, I see you, This is what, like, now I'm a person that like, I'm tangible. You can touch me, you can reach me.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you're close to me. So when you look for like those wow factors on social media, like comments, or you look for people to buy merchandise, or you look for people to hit the subscribe button, or you look for people to buy albums, or you look for the things that, like, to monetize, essentially, to make the money, to do the work portion that makes the money for you from doing social media, essentially. When you have to cross that road, that's what's going to matter, that genuine connection, right? Because who's going to buy if no one knows you, your family, your friends, right? But why are they going to buy? Because they're the ones that you have that glue with, you have that actual connection with. They can call you, they can text you, right? So that's why they're going to be the people that buy your shirts and buy those things immediately before anyone else knows you. So you have to establish that connection, which you can with the power of your phone and the internet, right? With people that you don't know, right? So that's where I thought of the idea of starting that DM process, right? Having those DMs go out automatically. Once those DMs go automatically, sometimes you get a response, sometimes you don't. I simplified everything I did. I mean, being less is so much more, especially when dealing with people. It's so much more, right? And I simplified it to a ridiculous level, right? So my DMs became hey, right? Because normal people who hit people up say hey. That is just the truth.
Yeah.
It is not any of that. Normal people say hey, and they actually try to talk to you, and that's exactly what you have to do. You know, you want this person to go spend $60 on your new shirt. You know, they're not going to do that because you just pressed copy and paste. Like, that's not enough work. That's definitely not enough work to get them to buy that $60 t-shirt. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So they're going to have to, you know, figure that person out, understand and build that relationship if you plan to monetize it in the future. Now that's a really harsh reality on grabbing and guaranteeing your success, right? That's just guaranteeing you're gonna get that shit for yourself when you put that much effort, right? Of course, at the time I had tools to make it a little bit easier. There's automatic DMs going out, so I'm only having to respond to what's coming back, right? But I just know that everybody that's following me.
But is that still a thing right now? They still have automatic DM stuff?
Yeah, but the limitations are so hard, and then the timing is so crazy that they're like paying attention to how humanistic the behaviors are. So if it's like too fast, or just like, or if it's just like too long, or if it's just like too much of the same exact timing, it triggers.
That's the same way, like if you copy and paste your caption and you copy and paste it too many times between different posts. I think I noticed there's something that pops up.
There's just a lot more restrictions.
I don't
keep up with it anymore to the point where, like, I realized if I was going to do it again, right, onto that level, I would have to genuinely do this myself. You know, because they're watching to the point where I couldn't even set it up and go to sleep without a block or a ban. Like, there's a point where I was good off of even doing it, you know? For years I wrote out with it, but there's starting to be years where it's like, okay, they understand. You know, they're breaking down on it. They're making it so it's more humanistic. So you can't really, you know, do that. But you can still be a human and still do that, right? And even if you don't scale as hard as, you know, sending out every single person that comes in, nowadays, if the amount of people that come in aren't as much, so you still can scale the amount of people that would come in, right? Let's say you have 20 people come in a day. You can send 20 DMs a day of saying, hey, it's super simple, not a big deal, right? Super easy, nothing to maintain. Right, you can do that. The scale I was doing was ridiculous. That's why the speed was ridiculous, right? But it's something that you can always do. But the point is, making that genuine connection is where you rock out, right? So you see this person that you don't know at all, right? Maybe their posts are interesting. Maybe those things are interesting. I did spend time to look real quick, right? And these are things that you probably, if you're an entrepreneur and you're like into business and you have anything to sell or you have anything that you want to offer the world, and you've been on YouTube, like, in that rabbit hole, there's definitely time where people have seen Gary Vee say this after I've already been doing this physically. He's like, I've watched him say this like a couple years after I was already physically doing this in life. You know what I'm saying? Where he tells you, like, pretty much what I'm saying. You know, you can't sugarcoat it. You can make connections online. You can DM whoever you want. He said, like, I've watched him say that after the fact, but when you abuse the fact that you can do that, then that's when you're going to get whatever you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, but I honestly understood to abuse it early on. You know what I mean? So, like, and I would never make it about myself. I would never make any conversation about me. I was genuinely, and I became a genuine person. I was like that. It honestly helped me out in life. It helped me out when I spoke to other people. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things that growing up you told me, to be honest, probably is what guided me to find that way of communicating with people. Because one thing that I remember you telling me is like, you know, growing up is always like, you know, don't just like say hey and just ask for whatever you want. You know, like there's a lot of times you told me that. don't just yo, I need like, you know, hey, how's your day? Like what, you know what I'm saying? These types of things, these matter. These things matter. So like that had a lot to do with, you know, simplifying everything into the right, you know, and making it the right way to how to communicate with people and then still get what I want while still giving them, you know, a genuine thing, you know? So yeah, I would communicate with 100 people. I would always start my conversations with, you know, like, what do you do? Like, based on what I would see, right? And I'm just gonna speed forward because that's a lot of people I'm thinking about right now. I'm just sick, but I'm just gonna speed forward to the point where like it eventually gets to the point where you're having so many genuine communications with so many people, and because they're genuine, you retain a lot of the information that you're receiving, right? Conversations become easy, so you're able to have more. And these conversations that I would have, I would go the extra mile, man. I wouldn't just let the conversation die or like I wouldn't hit somebody up like just bothering them. Never, you know. Yeah. I don't. If you don't bother me, you're falling off. I will never bother you. You know, that's just something. But if you're still like checking on what I'm doing and keeping updated with what my movement is and stuff like that, then bro, I got you all day. 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 And you'll see how many people tag along. A lot of people who have movement themselves, where it's a respectable thing. You know, there was a guy, there's like two different people that I met throughout that time. There was a guy that had like a clothing brand, right? This chubby dude. He had like a lot of knowledge though, man. And he had the same understanding as me in terms of making real connections and speaking to people and doing all that stuff. So for him, it was like a genuine respect when I would communicate with him. It was out of genuine respect. I found him the same way. But it was a genuine respect. Like, I know you moving those shirts. I know he's selling. I know he's doing something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a genuine respect thing. So all the other people, too, that aren't doing these things or who have other life problems or things that still want to communicate, I still keep up the same, you know what I'm saying, respect. You know what I'm saying? But I use what I gain from each person for the next person, essentially. So, like, if I meet, like, I met a billion models, dude, like, dude, a billion. Like, there's like, dude, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many. To where, like, the conversation will be like, dude, I know exactly how to get you started. Like, I've had this conversation with so many. I know exactly. If you don't know what to do, I know exactly. So my conversations, so my conversations are really warm. You know what I'm saying? They're not just full of bullshit like how they began. You know what I'm saying? As I got further along, as I got more people that I was speaking to, throughout time, my conversation became more sharp. I had more to offer. I started to understand other things that I didn't. You know what I'm saying? About different arts and different, you know, things that people were into, whether it was dancing, whether it was whatever it is. You know, I was just like, I had more knowledge, like to just hold a conversation. You know, and I would build these general connections with a lot of people, and I would also go because you can't. Once again, it's like you can't automate like a comment. You know, you can't, like, certain things you can't do that, you know, like, you got to be real about certain things. So, like, I would make sure if I do see certain people's stuff that I'm, you know what I'm saying, because I can still participate while my stuff's running, too, like, and even when things are hard, when it would do only certain features for me, I would still participate and do what I have to do to keep up, and I remember people, and you know what I'm saying, because how could I not, you know? And so I would comment, and all these people will come in, they watch all my videos, and it's like I stopped because of how, like, I had a kid, I had a lot of things going on, I had, you know, took a break entirely, and I had like social media scares with my kid, you know, so I just took a break. I took a complete break with all of that stuff for a period of time, because that stuff does get kind of crazy when you have too many people looking at your life, you know. You know,
but that's what it is. It's a window into your life.
It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, and as I was telling my girl this recently, I was like, you know, one thing that, like, that gets me is like the older I get, is like I really don't want the attention. I don't want the people looking. You know, I really do. I really don't. You know, when you're young, you know, you kind of like, you know, you're very.
And what's crazy is you was doing this in high school, right? Or right after high school.
Right after.
High school.
Like all the like meeting people and taking pictures and like at that time I was doing the ground hustle. Like in high school I was like meeting photographers and trying to go do things like that. Like I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like trying to do music and trying to like get people and thinking about, you know, how to get people to come to what I got, you know what I'm saying, what I have. But what's crazy is in the background of all that is I never put it on the front street, but I've made other like pages and stuff for it. Is YouTube, man. Is now I look at other things like opportunities too. Like I didn't see the opportunity at YouTube as much as I did before. I saw opportunity in music more than I did YouTube, honestly. But like with how things change and like I said, restrictions happen, everything just changed, right? I think YouTube, right, being the second strongest engine, you know, second most used engine on the internet, right behind Google, is underused, right? And I've been telling you this.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly feel like YouTube is underused because it provides you a platform where you're allowed to post a video, no matter how long. You can literally go on YouTube and look up 24-hour videos. You can go on YouTube and see videos that are live that have never stopped for 30 days. Like, it is the one
Crazy.
sick. It's sick. I don't know how it's that strong, but it's backed by Google. That's why it's that strong.
Yeah.
Because what website could be that strong?
Yo.
To allow any user, they're not even worried about how many people join.
Yeah.
They're not like that's the type of stuff that you have to abuse when they're not even worried about how many people are joining,
how long
new
it
people
is,
a year, right?
God.
That they allow you with no payment, no subscription, no nothing, to put up as many videos with any amount of length that you want, as many times as you want as possible. Abuse that. That it makes no sense. Apple charges me for storage. Google is YouTube, and they charge me for storage, right? And the only thing I'm storing, if you're a content creator or anything like that, is videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Literally, right? So abuse that, right? You can turn it on private. You can literally put it on private. You don't have to show anyone, and you can just store footage, an unlimited amount of footage. So
the only thing I'm wondering about that is, like, what are the terms and as far as when you put it up there, like, do they keep any ownership of it? You see what I'm saying? Or like, do they get to go through it whenever they want to, or like, what is it? You know what I mean? I don't think anybody
for sure
any of that stuff.
For sure. I think 100% that they can definitely go through it. They're probably able to make sure it's nothing dangerous that they're gonna pose a threat on their platform. For sure, 100%. Everybody has guidelines, 1,000%. Thing is, you don't post that stuff there on YouTube. All right, you keep a hard drive for that. You put that in the folder on the computer, on the desktop. Like that, there's certain things that you don't need to, But if you're gonna do a family trip, right, and instead of killing your phone, right, and this is the second part. There's a Twitch, right? There's another big thing on the internet that I realized that you can abuse, right? You can abuse Twitch, right? So Twitch, it allows you to go live, right? You can live stream, and you can automatically save every broadcast. You can use it on your cell phone to live stream online, or you can be given a streamer key, and through streaming software on your desktop computer, you can stream with setups and different things from your computer, right? So you have two different ways of streaming on Twitch, right? But each way, it would save the broadcast, right? You can broadcast as much as you want, unlimited amount of time, right? So these are things that I'm saying that, like, you got it when you see you could abuse it.
Is
like,
Twitch free too?
Twitch is free. Yeah, it's free. It's free. It's been around forever. It's free. It's still free.
Jesus.
It's still free. All these things are free. But I'm saying all these things are like little loop, like, right? So, yeah, I may not be able to go ham, but now I know I can abuse the fact that I can provide as much content as I want without a limit. And that, and to me, before they put up the barrier, I need to abuse it. right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because now I can put as much content as I want out. They're not going to stop me. Because one day they can be like, I can only put out 10 videos this month. And then I gotta pay a $10 subscription if I want to post. If I want to put more than 10 videos on my channel up, but you know how much that would hurt. You know how much they couldn't do that because of the type of lives that they've created with their platform, right? How many people have sustained, you know. But
Well,
even at the point that they're at, they can pay it. They can pay it. They can pay it, right? So this potentially could not be something that's there forever. And this has been riding out for over 10, 20 years. We're riding out on this ability to do this. Right. So before it's gone, you know, I'm going to abuse it. I'm going to definitely abuse the fact that I could do that. Twitch and YouTube work together. So if I'm being lazy and I want to post something that's super like easily editable, where I don't have to put like effects or anything, I just want to chop it down to specific scenes that I want to show real quick and clips and just throw out a vlog or something from like a 2-3 hour stream or something that I want to do. I can do that in Twitch and just straight send it to YouTube, make a thumbnail, Photoshop, send it to my phone. While I'm at, I can do it on my phone, or while I'm at like work or getting coffee.
Closer to
While I'm at like work or getting coffee. My bad. While I'm at work or getting coffee or something like that, I can like upload it later. I can go ahead and like do all the like critiquing and stuff like that. Put all the tags in there. Put my description in there. And then boom. And I never had to touch Final Cut or Premiere Pro.
So with all this, because you see things from a younger mind than I do, and I have my thoughts and what I've learned about how do you generate money from all of this. But from your perspective, from all of this that you've learned, and you've learned this not just from like watching YouTube videos, but you actually applied it. What is the best way to generate money from YouTube, Twitch, and those kind of things?
Numbers talk in every conversation, right? So like if you're sitting in a meeting, even after you made it, right? Even after you made it and you're successful, the only thing that matters at the table still is going to be your numbers. And before you make it, the only thing that determines whether you're going to make it or not are your numbers. So from beginning to end, the only thing that ever matters is your numbers. So it's about getting as many numbers as possible, right? So the reason,
you're talking about like views, subscriptions,
subscriptions, yeah, things like that. Things that you can use as stats, right? Because if you're a player in that field, then that's what you're going to be able to hold up and host and say, you know, are things, and also are going to be people that you can move, right? So if you can move a crowd of people to a specific platform at any given time, the ability to do that is also a very big, you know, showing proof that you can do that is a very big deal as well. So it's always going to be numbers, right? So going back to what I was telling you about Twitch and that fact that that's unlimited, right? Those two things I just mentioned are unlimited things, right? You can put video for a limited amount of time, as many videos as you want, right? And they can be as long as you want, as much as you want, right? So, and the next thing with Twitch is that you can do the same thing. You can edit on that platform, so you don't have to do rendering. You don't have to do all those things. And you can post content there as much as you want, right? And it'll save it, right? And you can send it right over, and you don't have to. So all that right there is what that is just minimizing time, right? And when you minimize time, you maximize your numbers, right? So it take a lot less effort to accomplish one task, right? So because you did that, you can accomplish more of that task multiple times. You can double back, right? Because I've done this for a super long time in terms of like editing, I feel like, and doing YouTube videos, and I'm trying to figure out how it works. And a lot of things is the most common thing for people to have happen to them is they get burned out, right? So it's like, and I was telling you about this before I was telling you about this, right? About my reminders. I was telling you about this before I had the epiphany about this new thing, right? About reminders, right? So I was telling him like, hey, I was trying reminders before, and I want to stay organized, and I could never keep up with the different apps I would download and the different things I would use, because I would always have to go in the app and type whatever I needed to remind myself about. And it would take so much time. Like, yeah, it's like 15 seconds, 30 seconds. You know, so it sucks to be a millennial, right? It really does, right? It takes 15 seconds, 30 seconds. But that's too much time for every time that I have to go in there and put a reminder for myself, right? And then I have to go back in there and check it off. Like, dude, that's way too much work for me. That's way too much work. So eventually I was like, okay, so I doubled back to it time after. And I realized, okay, reminders are way more effective with Siri. Like, I have Siri on my phone. I had Siri on my phone for like, bro, I don't even know how long they created Siri. I know I don't just tell Siri to remind me at the specific time I need to remind it. I've never thought to do that, right? But such a simple thing, now that turned something that was 30 seconds into 5 seconds, now I do it all the time, right? Now it's super easy. Now it's like a habit. Now I'm so used to it, I be at work, yo, I'm so used, because it's so easy. It's so easy on me that I do it so much. Now it's like a part, like it feels weird to not do it because I've done it so much, right? Because I've trained it into my regular behavior. And that's always the goal when it goes into being successful, right? So I watch all these videos and all these things. I'm trying to, improve myself. And, and one of the things that you always hear is going to be that you have to, I watch all these things that, I forgot what I was going to say. Shucks. I forgot what I was going to say.
It'll come to you.
I forgot what I was going to say.
It'll come to you.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, let's go into, maybe this is a good time to break into the posts.
Yeah.
It's something that I was just thinking too while you were talking is, as the season finale for my first season of what you post to say, we're going to go through your posts, but then we'll go over to my page too, and then you can ask me about some of mine too.
All right,
you see what I'm saying? Because I haven't done that. Nobody's ever
really?
gone to my page and spoke about mine. So let's try that out and see how that goes. I think I go this way. Oop, wrong way. All right. So, well, your real name is, I call you Zaido. Since you was a kid, I called you Zaido. Then I called you Zaido.
Yeah.
But your real name is Isaiah, and then here you call it Isaiah's Club. Why'd you call it Isaiah's Club?
I just like everything I try to do is like always like stand out. Just like I think I went too far of a stretch out before. Like I think I had different aliases, right? Everybody had aliases on the internet, and I went by with Zaido. That's my first real alias. I think it was Zaido, right? And it was hard. It took for like forever, right? And then I got like, I was being creative, and I couldn't decide whether I was gonna do like videos, photography, music. Like I was so like conflicted. Like when it came to like the arts, like I just knew I liked to be creative, and I couldn't like identify. And I got to a point where I was like, I give up. I'm just gonna do what I want to do, right? And when I came up with that idea, of being like undefined. I came in with this undefined prodigy idea, and I was like, so that became my whole slogan. That was my thing. I governed that for like a minute, and I think I went too far right with that. I was like, I went too undefined, right? So I need to come back and like, I'm older, I wanted to like add more of myself to it. I was like, man, like I just don't know what to like add to my name, and I would think of all these other like names and people would use, and I don't want to be a little, you know what I mean? I don't want to be a little Isaiah.
Don't be a little.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So because I don't want to be a little, I'm trying to figure out what alias hasn't been used, like what, and I really narrowed it down in my head at the time to like places, right? So a name probably would be like Isaiah's Hall, but that's because I'm so close to club right now. But at the time, it was nothing near that, right? It was stuff like Isaiah's World, Isaiah's Planet. I'm like, that's too everything, like everyone does, right? So what is that, but not that, right? And then I went into different variations. I forgot what they were, but they weren't Hall. I don't know why. Hall is just fit because club is right there. But there were other things, and I couldn't figure it out. And then club, and I was like, club, and then IC and my initials. I was like, I'll do it. And I was like, Isaiah's Club. So I was like, it works. But it's cool. I'm like, if you come and you participate in anything I'm doing, then you're part of the club, bro. So that's what it is, dude.
No, that's dope. But you still got the undefined there.
Yeah. Because I decided to try to do merch way after the fact. Did pretty decent though, surprisingly enough. It did pretty well.
Yeah, because you were in a like a sneaker game, but you still do some of that, right?
Yeah, I still do. I had tried to sell some shoes yesterday, man. I'll tell you, man. But yeah, I do. It's a crazy game.
Cause see right here, look at this. You have 6 posts, but yet you still have 18,000 followers.
Yeah, I have a lot of posts that are that are on archive, or I can go back and put them back up.
Put them back up, yeah.
But like,
and when you do that, does it still retain its date
everything stays the
and
same.
everything?
Everything stays exactly the same.
Okay.
Nothing leaves. You just put it back up whenever you want.
All right. Well, let's look at your latest post that's on here, which says, "Where do you start when you're finished?"
Yeah.
So what is this? Tell me about this. Where are you? First of all, where are you?
I'm in Hawaii. I'm in Kauai, Hawaii.
Kauai is dope, right?
Yeah, Kauai is dope.
Love Kauai.
Kauai is dope. Yeah,
oh
that's
my
right.
God, the food is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. The food is nuts.
The food is
I overdid the food for sure.
I loved it. Look at that water, man. I remember going there, man. I had a great time.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. The people are amazing.
Yep. Friendly. Food is great.
It's a lot more nature than like Honolulu and other places and stuff. It's a lot less loud.
You went hiking here?
Yeah, I went through. That's how I got to where you just saw me. I had to go through there to get to there.
To get to this?
Yeah.
Dang. Did you get to go in the water?
Hell no, I ain't going there. It was too crazy too at the time. Before, like, this is the perfect time to take this picture, but before that it was really like crazy. Like at the time that we went, it was pretty cloudy and waves were harsh and stuff, and those waves in that little canal are very harsh compared to, as you can see, the sea out there. It gets harsh the minute it gets next to it. So even when it's super chill, it's not a good idea. So it's like, I'm not gonna get smacked into a rock.
That's dope.
But it's just dope. Yeah,
and this was the vacation you went on, right?
Yeah, it's like my birthday, I think, birthday time.
Dope. The shirt is crazy.
Yeah. Lost and Found. Yeah.
You got that at Lost and Found?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
This vintage store. It's in Fort Lauderdale. You do a reservation on their Instagram, and they do all the work for you essentially. And then they find like these really dope pieces. They're Florida boys, so they find a lot of Florida stuff, like for all years.
Hold on, how does it work? Like you go to them and you tell them.
So you go on their Instagram, you go on Lost and Found Vintage, right? Go to Lost and Found Vintage on Instagram. They're tagged on this picture. If you go to this picture, they're tagged somewhere on there, and then you set up a reservation on the link on their bio. Right, and then you go on whatever appointment that you set up with them, and then you go and they have a specific time where you're the only person. You shop by yourself. You can bring, you let them know the amount of guests you're bringing, and you guys have your personal, experience in there. You shop by yourself. No one intrudes or nothing like that. Then when you're done, then you bounce.
Wow,
that's pretty dope. They have dope pieces. They sell sneakers. They have they buy stuff too. So. If you want to go in there with some stuff and, make a bargain with them, you get a good deal. But they've had really crazy pieces. Pieces like this are nuts, though. It's like a $200 shirt. So stuff like that is like...
What?
Yeah, stuff like that. It's from the actual time. It's the actual, Rusty Wallace, like... It's a legitimate, if they size it, they make sure it's legit, all that. So it's like, they're really about their stuff. They don't just give you garbage.
Are they around the guys your age?
Yeah, around my age for sure.
Boy, you guys are getting it, boy. Yeah, you guys don't understand how great you have it right now to be able to like monetize almost anything you do.
Yeah. No, that's one of the coolest things. And people think it's like, dude, I love staying fresh, right? But I don't stay fresh just for the fucking reason. I don't stay fresh. If I didn't stay fresh, bro, I'd lose a lot of money. What? Yeah. That's a whole other income stream that I would just lose on like the fact, like, why pay attention to it, right? And not invest into it. And then I'm just staring at it. And I'm a fan. I invest into it, I can wear it and still sell it because it's worth something. It's people like me staring at it, right? I can just go buy like, whatever and save my money and it'd be nothing. Or I can spend it on what I like, and sell it because it's worth what it is, and I didn't spend it on whatever generic or whatever. Just did it the thing that people pay to just save money thing. No, I spent it on something that people want to collect. I put it on something that people want to hold up and put it in a frame or something like that. So it's like when you spend the money on that, even when you wear it, you rock it, you do whatever, you always have your money still sitting on you. You know what I mean?
So it's like basically it's an investment.
It's an investment. Always
it's an asset, not a liability.
Yeah, it's not a liability. There's lots of liability clothing. There's lots of liability clothing, and the reason why people go crazy over saying like, "Oh, you're a hype beast," or this. No, we're avoiding the liability clothing. You gotta understand that we're not. It's not the hype beast thing. We just understand that these certain things are going to be the things that can retain its value longer than the crap that you would buy. So that's why we would spend the money on it. But if it wasn't for that, dude, it wouldn't be worth it, right? But it's only worth it because they're nice things.
Yeah.
You know?
So like you buy a shirt like this for $200, and then what? You can resell it again.
Yeah, I think I sold it back to them for more. Because over time, it became.
I remember you explaining this to me.
Yeah, I sold it back to them for like $50 more after I bought it from them.
But they're just basically, which is genius, man. I think I remember when you were telling me about this, I was like, damn, this is a great concept. Because it's the same concept as like the economy with real estate and things like that, where, inflation and all those things, things just keep going up over year and over time. So if you buy into it right now, you buy it at 200, you wait a year, what is it, 250, 300, whatever it is.
Like certain pieces, it's like they appreciate, right? So there's like a lot of collectibles are things that appreciate. Autographs appreciate. A lot of specific things appreciate. A one-on-one car is not going to depreciate. It's going to appreciate because it's still alive next year. It still exists next year. So certain things based off on its accessibility, because it's always supply and demand, right? Its accessibility, it actually appreciates over time. That's why you see certain cars start to depreciate, right? But then there's a certain time where that same car that was depreciating starts to appreciate based off of how well it's kept, right? So like you have a 1977 Chevrolet and you're like, yo, it's in mint condition. It only has 15 miles from 1977, right? That's a different type of car. That's a completely different type of car, right? But but there's a 2014 one that goes for shit. Yeah. It got 50,000 miles on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's that. It's just that. It's making sure it's something that sticks out. Nobody wants to have the same thing.
No, that's dope. And then it's just the way you got into all that, man. And I know a lot of that hustle and that you have, like you got a dad that's a hustler. Your mom is a hustler. And of course I was there to add a little bit to it too. That's dope, man. That's dope. But see, and this is the kind of thing, like I hope more, and I don't want to call you guys kids, but like, of course you to me you're still gonna be a kid, but you're not a kid. You're a grown man. But it's like, I hope more younger generation people your age is doing this and looking at the world like this and not just going out and spending money on these, Balenciagas and all this crap and it's just sitting in their closet, worthless.
A lot of that stuff does depreciate too, right? So let's speak on designer stuff. That's one of the things that I've realized. It's a depreciating situation, right? Once you get it. Mint condition always starts. There's a point where vintage Gucci and mint condition is going crazy. Like, it just depends, But
like you know about Dapper Dan, right?
Yeah, it's super sick.
You know about Dapper Dan?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't what he was doing back then what probably people are trying to do right now? Yeah. Which is remixing old stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even current stuff, but he would remix it.
Or just bringing back old styles. Yep.
And then sell it for more. He was killing. He had a storefront too.
Really?
Yeah,
he's the one that would like cut stuff up and do all that.
Yeah, he would take like a Gucci, new Gucci jacket and cut it up and make it urban or something like sick. Yeah, sick. All right, let's see. Well, since you only got 6, we'll actually go through all 6 and see what's going on here. And where was this? This was in Hawaii as well?
Hawaii, yeah. This is still Hawaii. Yeah.
So what was this moment? What was this time?
We actually just got off this crazy
Hold on, get on the mic.
We just got off this crazy ass flight, man. It was one of the craziest flights I've ever taken in my life. It's the worst, because it was around COVID. I did all this during COVID. So this is like, this is mid-COVID right here. This is like... I had to go into the airport. The flight got delayed because we had to take a COVID test, even though we took a COVID test because they didn't approve of the COVID test the results that we had because it didn't come from one of the locations that they said. That was something stupid, right? And so we had to take another one. We paid $400, right? $400 each. This is the sickest.
To take the test?
To take the test, Ricky. So I would have.
They hit you guys for $400?
$400, Ricky. I was sick, Rick. I didn't want to. I already invested in this trip, Rick. Yo,
Hold on.
Rick.
Don't tell me it was just the nose swab.
No, it was it was the long
For a nose swab, they made you guys pay
And the
$400.
$400, Rick.
Yo, they were murdering
$400,
people.
Rick. And the line, ridiculous. The
They
line,
were
everyone
murdering
that got that COVID test at that time missed their flight. Everybody. I seen girls crying, Rick.
These people are disgusting.
I seen people crying, Rick. Those girls crying about what was going on. You know? I was just so determined to not let my trip be ruined. I was so determined.
Are you kidding me?
But understandably, we're idiots for flying in mid-COVID. But at the same time, though,
shoot, if that girl would probably cry because she was like, "Damn, this is my
like
excursion money."
On this trip. She's gotta pay. She gotta pay. She gotta pay $4 to get there. Yeah, man, and she gotta get there late because they're gonna delay her. Yep. So they delayed us, right? I made a big fuss about it. They ended up booking us a hotel in Wait, I had to make a big fuss about it. We ended up trying to get a flight. We had a straight shot from one point to one point. I forgot what the trip initially was, but it changed, right? So we had to take multiple stops, right? So one of our stops was Colorado, and after Colorado, we had to go to San Francisco before we ended up going to Hawaii. So it was like a way crazier flight plan than we initially planned. They switched it, so we had to get it. So they got us a hotel in for a night in San Francisco. So we flew. Dude, I luckily had extra time off. Like, I already prepared to sleep just because of like jet lag. So like everything ended up still being the same amount of time. The hotel understood. Like everything ended up smooth. But dog, that was the worst experience like flying I've ever experienced in my life. And this is us just now landing.
Wow.
Just now landing and they're getting some food. Time's all fucked up at this point. I think it's darker. It's something was weird here, but I'm getting food right now.
Yo.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah, no, it was
I would have been pissed.
I was pissed.
I mean, you had already spent your money.
Yeah,
so $400 to lose out on the whatever couple grand you probably invested already would have been
bro,
crazy, but dang, they was hitting you off of $400 a test.
Mm-hmm.
They literally, like, I'm sorry, bro, but these people, whoever, the government, Pfizer, Johnson, whoever,
this shit was over.
They were raping.
Yeah.
You ever seen the Pfizer guy, the guy who owns Pfizer? He has a house here. Where is it? I want to say somewhere near, it's not on Star Island, but it's in that whole intercoastal area over there by where the Royal Caribbean ships and all that stuff. When you go down the 195, I think it is. Those big houses right there, yo, he has the biggest house on the corner. Biggest house on the corner. Right on the water.
He milked the COVID thing,
Oh, my God, bro. 400, I never heard that before. That's wild.
Yeah, no, they got us, man.
Is this one of those?
It was really specific, too, because it wasn't like the thing was, it was like a Hawaii, like it was Hawaii. You get me? It wasn't like United States. Like, it was like...
You had to take that test when you got to Hawaii.
No.
Oh,
I did it. I had to take it before. But they sent me an email before telling me, oh, Miami-Dade official, da-da-da. So I'm thinking it said Miami-Dade official testing center. Like, well, whatever. So I took one there. Me and
you had to pay how much?
I think it was almost free or something stupid. It was like retarded. Something nothing. And we get there. We show them that, right? And they're like, no. It has to be a specific... from this, like, these specific, you know, with the Hawaii, like, Hawaiian sign. So, like, this is not, like, this is Hawaii themselves are saying, like, you need to, you know what I'm saying, go do this and da-da-da, and have their own line. Everybody who's crying, the girls, they're all going to Hawaii. These aren't people going nowhere else.
Oh, my God.
These are people going nowhere else.
They're so wrong for that.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
And that $400 is going to nothing but their pockets. Because right now, tests are $20.
Nothing.
$30. And they were charging people $400 at that time. That's so wild. That's so wild. That really upset me because I'm like, they should have not done that to people like that, man. That's so whack. So whack. Whoever was doing this, you guys are whack. Like, you guys are whack for doing this to people. And then you had to...
Everything got delayed. Everything got stopped. Everything, we had to redo everything.
Bro, and then you spent like 2 to 3 years of your young age in that mess. You didn't get to enjoy your early 20s as much as you could have.
Yeah, but I was like, man, Chargers the game on there, I spent even more money.
Chargers
the game, so it's like, but I was just so focused on getting there and not letting it ruin my birthday trip, dude. Because imagine all that's popping up and like, it's
well, that's good.
Birthday,
that's good that you were able to stay focused and not let them. That's what they're trying to do, man. Put more pressure on you.
Yeah, I had Kel with me too, so she's already stressing out. She's seeing what's going on. I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure that everything's cool. You know, she seeing other chicks bust out in tears. I'm like, yo, hold it down. Hold it down.
That's so whack, bro. So this is this shirt part of that company too?
What? No. This is a V-Lone shirt. This is ASAP Abari, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Mob, that whole group. ASAP Bar was like one of the guys who were on, like, just did art and stuff like that. He made a clothing brand. He ended up getting like canceled about like some craziness he got into after the fact. So you're not cool for that, but like, but like at the time, he's cool.
That's a dope shirt. That's
V-Lone shirt.
Let's see what else you got here.
That's the rental car.
You guys had a little rental.
Yeah, I still haven't posted my actual car on my actual page.
Oh yeah.
I just hate that evil eye thing, dude. I don't know, man. I just don't like it.
Yeah. How was it driving over there?
It was cool. A lot more fun than driving in Florida. Everything's kind of straight here. Whenever you get out of here, it's a little bit more fun to drive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys did some zip lining?
Yeah, zip lining. There's a few more things I didn't post that we did, like canoeing, hike, like it's mad.
How long were you guys there?
Like 4 or 5 days, 4 days. 4 days. We were there for like 4 days.
Dope. All right, let's go to this here. This is your now. Were you trying to do this to model? Or it was just pictures you wanted to
No, I was just trying to get my portfolio up. To be honest, I was trying to get my portfolio up. Like honestly, like social media is also another way that I've actually monetized social media. I think you asked me this earlier. Was a question, which stuff like this. It's crazy enough. I get hit up by talent agency all the time, and once you go to one, it's kind of like you start to meet people that know others, and you get a whole bunch of talent agencies. So when you get in situations like that, I've been in situations like that with you, away from even searching for them on my own, right? Where you meet people and they have all these connections in terms of like, oh, I know the person that recruits for this person, the person that casts for this person, the person that does this. Like you had a person that casted me one time actually on this show. Miss Blue.
Mobile Blue?
Yeah, Mobile Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, she casted me one time. So, for example, people like that, like you run into people like that, when they go on your, they want to see your Instagram. They don't want to see your pictures with your cat, you know? They want to see stuff like this.
Yeah,
so that's really what it's for. And I've definitely monetized it. I've made thousands of dollars definitely off of just the times that I've been to agencies away from you that have paid me for being extras and things like that. So
that's dope. That's dope.
Pretty cool.
I remember you was in actually when I had Billy Blue on.
He had Billy Blue on. Yeah.
We went by the video. Remember the video where it wasn't me. What this director name was filming a video with Blue featuring Akon. Okay. And they came by my mom's house to film a scene. And remember, I put you in that scene.
Yo, for real?
You don't remember that?
You
don't remember that?
I remember that. That's nuts.
And then it was you.
Yo, what?
Was there another kid there? I want to say there was another kid, but I know you was in the video.
That's crazy.
Blue, Akon, everybody. You don't remember that?
What?
You was that little?
What?
Jesus. Damn. I got to show it to you.
Music videos now, I'm proud. I'm like, I've been in music videos.
Where is that video? It's on YouTube. What's the name of that song?
That's sick.
But because Blue was signed to Akon, so he had that thing, and he, But yeah, you don't remember being in the video?
That's nuts.
And then another thing, man, like, remember I've told you I wanted you to act and I want to do something with you.
Yeah.
But like, if you really take it seriously, you can play Tupac in the movie, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
You can play Tupac in the movies. Right? Yeah. You should do it, man. You letting all these other guys who don't even look like Tupac get these roles.
Yeah.
You need to get in there. But that's dope. No, this is some great pictures, man. Great pictures.
Yeah. So before I took that picture, I was on a road to like taking better.
So what's this about?
I was just out taking pictures with another
Subway surfers. Where? What subway? Where?
Subway in Miami. Like you know where the X is?
No.
The X.
You talking about downtown? That above the ground train thing? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know I've never ridden on that.
Yeah.
Where's this?
This is at one of my boys' pools. That's where we were going to. But yeah.
All right, let's see here.
This is just in the middle of the street. I just figured it would be odd because no one takes a picture in the middle of the damn street.
And you do, and you do all your own styling.
Yeah.
That's one thing I could say. I think there was a time too I told you I wanted you to style me.
Man, I've been saying that since I was like what? I remember saying it when I had the satin red Air Forces with the red Dickie shorts and the striped red and white T-shirt. I remember I used to tell mad people I styled myself. I swear to God I did. I swear. You know, that's the thing I always was prideful about. That shit. Like, I dressed me. My mom didn't dress me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 7. I got up and I put that shit on.
What do you, like, how did you develop your style?
Really, man, my mom killed me and my dad did it the worst way. So it's like,
yeah,
you know.
Your dad's always fresh. Your mom's always fresh.
You know, like, but as like he doesn't like go too crazy, you know, but he always just has nice things. You know, he always prided himself in having nice things. He always made sure that I had nice things. He always made sure I kept up with the times. He always made sure he kept up with the times. You know, even to this day, my dad has grills right now.
I remember when you told me that.
My dad has grills. Like 10 to the bottom, iced out bottle. They're custom made, like, you know, because it's his teeth, like
crazy.
You know, so he's still keeping up with the times right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
I remember one time I went to Atlanta, and I met up with your dad. Were you there? If you was there, you was little. You probably was in there playing around with the other kids or something. But your dad said, "Oh yeah." He took me out to Club 112. This is before Big Meech and them shot it up. It's probably like a couple weeks before that happened. That whole Big Meech thing happened. And your dad pulled up with his homeboys. Everybody was iced out, Suburbans, Escalades. Like, I was like, yo, this is crazy. It was wild, man. Your dad is great. I mean, I've told you this 1,000 times, man. You have one of the best dads ever, man. He's not my dad. He's my aunt's, you know, ex, but like he treated me good, man. Yeah. He always took good care of us when he was around. Always took care of you, you know what I mean? Like, man. And then he gave you great style, man. Like,
yeah, no, that was the thing. So, like, I remember, there's times you remember because you're at the crib, but the times I would get these boxes, right? You remember these boxes. And I open these boxes and be hella shit in these boxes. Yeah. You know, and there was a few times I remember early on, especially when I got to, like, sports and stuff, like, I would get, bro, I had, like, almost every jersey, dude, of almost every team for basketball and football. Like, I had football jerseys. I couldn't remember how many. I had, like, the old school. I remember having the Kobe number 8 jersey, not the Laker yellow and purple, but the blue and purple, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I had some crazy nut stuff, like you know, like with almost every color Air Force, white and blue, all white, camo, the satin red, the suede black. Like, I still remember right now, you know, So it's like, no, for sure, man.
That's crazy.
For sure, yeah.
Yo, dad, you know, when I went to prom, was it? Well, actually, I went to my high school prom, but I didn't really go. I didn't go with nobody. But then the next year, after I graduated, I went with someone I was dating. I don't know if I should say her name.
But, yeah, I think
because her and I are great friends right now.
Oh,
she's married. Cool. She's got a kid, and we're still cool. So I don't want to like. You know what I mean? But
yeah, great friends. Yeah, great friends.
Yeah, but your dad gave me his Montero, his brand new big SUV. I'm a 19-year-old kid, and he was like, "Yeah, take my car." He let me use his car to go to prom, bro. So I didn't even have to rent a car.
That's nice.
You know what I'm saying? Man, your dad has done so much, man. He's a great dude, man.
Yeah,
Great
it's awesome.
dude. So, but when you are out and you style yourself like this, and you are into this, like I always see you dressed up nice. Like, has it ever been a thing for you to think, let me be a stylist, let me make this a business in some
Honestly,
way?
yeah, but I just never found that was never one of the connections I got. Got so many connections for so many other things, but not being a stylist. Never. Like, I've looked for it, but I just never come across the opportunity to where it could shape a path in my mind logically, where I could figure out how to successfully obtain that goal.
Yeah.
Right. So I just.
Because that's a big thing in film and TV.
Yeah, I know for sure.
It's a major thing. So one thing I would suggest is, if you want to pursue it in any way, assist a stylist. Get a few of them and just assist them. Because while you have style, the other side of that is the business end of it, and learning how that stylists move within the business and how they're getting their work. And you got to humble yourself and just assist, watch them, just like everything else. Watch them,
do the work, yeah.
See how they move, help them, and then at some point you'll be able to break away and do your own thing and grow in it, because that's that's one of the positions in film and TV that will never go away, because everybody, I'm one of those people, everybody, like they don't think about how they're gonna look. That's not their thing. They need somebody else to tell them, this is how you're gonna look dope in this, and this is how you're gonna, so it's definitely, and I know you want to go to Georgia and do the other things, but that styling could be another side hustle, because you just, what's great about it is you just know how to do it. It's effortless.
Yeah. It's just one of the things that I do regardless.
You get what I'm saying?
I do regardless.
So if you did this as a side hustle, you'd make bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we had one of the movies that I just did. It was this one stylist, I forget his name. But he was caking. They were paying him, but he was bringing all this fly stuff, and then like he was felt like just as big as the director on set, because he was part of making the movie look great.
Looking dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because in a film, there's a couple of elements that together makes the movie, and if one of them fail, the movie is like trash. It's obviously the director who envisions the whole thing, but the art direction, the person who looks at the sets, builds the sets, makes sure the set looks like what it's supposed to. Wardrobe is very important. Like, you could have a beautiful set here and the person shows up looking trash.
Crazy, yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Styling
Or
is
just not matching.
not matching. Somebody's not really
Yeah.
taking the time to like really understand the scene and creating the right vibe with the style,
Correct, yeah.
colors and everything like that. Like me as a director too, I rely on that. Like, I look for
look.
because that's not my
part
eye.
of the look, yeah.
I can look at it and say, okay, that looks dope. You know what I mean? These are the colors that I want, but to really come through and like create the vibe. So you should look into that too. You should definitely, because that's part of film too. You know what I mean? It could open other doors for the exact things that you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, cool. Let's look at here.
And then that's Halloween.
That's you and June. This is this past year, right? Or the year before?
Last year.
Last year. Dope. Look at Mr. Julian here. Such a great kid, man.
Yeah, he really is, man.
Man, when you first said you were having a kid, oh my God. I was like, yo, because I think you might be getting to that age where you're gonna start noticing that, oh, you're the adult, and now there's these kids around, especially because you have a son. Now you've taken this role, but like, I've been in that space for a while now. So to watch you guys grow up, I'm still remembering you like Julian. Like, you don't get, like, I still could remember you being Julian, running around, like playing with braids. Like, you seen the pictures.
Yeah.
But I remember that, you know what I mean? And I know it's probably a foggier memory for you because obviously it was you.
Yeah.
But then to hear that, oh shoot, now you're having a kid. Like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but then you're a great dad. And I'm not just saying it, like you're a great dad, like you're there. And you learn, you came from a good dad. You have good dads around you.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of you to see that, at a young age, you took hold of it. You not,
Yeah, for sure.
you didn't scare, because I'm pretty sure you have other friends who they hear they're having a kid and they're out. Or
I don't have
scared.
friends like that.
Yeah,
You know?
good.
I don't have friends like that. But I've heard recently I've heard of people that I've grown up with that were like that. I was like, well, I could have never thought.
They're out.
Yeah, I could have never thought. Like,
1,000 abortions and all kind of weird stuff. And not that I'm saying, I'm one of the other pro-life or pro-choice and none of that. Like, that's to each his own for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm very proud of how you've you become a man. You do your thing, you work, you got a career, degree, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. Yeah. The sneaker world, that's one of the most fascinating things for me too, because I'm like totally oblivious to any of that. You know me, I'm not into most of those things. So to watch you do them and watch how fast you've developed and do your thing, and then look at you, man. Like, you're a dad, bro.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a dad?
It's crazy.
Because I know you love it.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy thing, because it's like you gotta look at your life, right? And it's like, as long as you do better than that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're going somewhere. So that's the most fulfilling thing for me, is to constantly see where, I'm providing better for him than I received, right? And as many places as I can for him, So it's like seeing that, and then understanding that, like, how I treat him is going to develop into a beautiful human being. How he's going to treat people. What I give him is how he's going to go out into the world and interact with other people. Like, all those things, like, it's like the best, like, it's the one thing that makes life worth life, right? Because if you just woke up and you just died, bro, you could have made $10 million. You woke up and you just died, bro.
It means nothing.
Nothing, bro. You just woke up and you just die, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? But then when you wake up and you provide for another life, and you take another life somewhere else, and you damn near guarantee, or you put your hand out to push this life in a positive direction, right? Full of health, love, saying something that they can sustain and become a great person and build great relationships in the future and become a human being by themselves. When you take that, like, responsibility, you prioritize that, then that's what it all becomes for. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's what it all becomes for. You know what I mean? Like, screw it, bro. If I die, bro, whatever happens, bro, he's gonna remember how much I loved him. He's gonna remember everything. He's gonna use whatever that I taught him, and go off and teach other people and be a good person. And because I didn't teach him to be no sick kid. I didn't teach him no weird, messed up stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to give him good quality. So it's like, I'm confident that he's gonna go out and that's the best thing to feel, dude. Mm-hmm. It's the best. Like, there's nothing that beats that. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So.
No. And I love being a dad. I was the dad to all of you guys till I had mine. So I've always loved being a dad, even before I was a dad. But that's great, man. That's great. Damn, you're a father.
Yeah, man. But I just, as you see, I don't even have that many posts of him.
Yeah.
On there. I'm very protective, dude. I'm extremely protective of, like, him, his privacy, his identity, everything with him.
And he's little too. Like, I didn't start putting anything of Skylar up until she got a little bit older. Yeah. When she was younger, 3-4 years old, I wasn't really doing too much of that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's only fair now that, as the season finale, I'm gonna go into. Well, you know what? Hold on. Before I go into my page, I know you still have some stuff up here. The plug.
That's my sneakers.
Let me see here.
My sneaker posts.
Yeah. So you say you're still actively doing the sneaker stuff,
yeah,
right?
like, I actually have a story. If you might second to hear it. Yeah, of course.
I'm still fascinated the fact that people can resell used sneakers for a lot of money.
Yeah, because, if you buy it retail, then you kind of always win. If you buy it under retail, it's about what you buy it for. Uh-huh. You buy it under, you kind of win every time, Bitcoin is at 15,000 right now, and it's going to be back at 60. You better buy it right now, But, yeah, long story short, I was going to sell these shoes yesterday, man. I think I almost got robbed. Yeah, that's why, like, that's another thing about this that makes me kind of like, it's a dangerous thing, especially when you're trying to get the money in hand, or you're trusting to meet up and do deals with people. dude, you never know who you're gonna come across, right? So I had to meet up for the pair of shoes, and I'm going to sell the shoes, and I get there, right? When I call the guy, initially he answers, so I had nothing, weird to feel, nothing weird to think. I start driving to the address that he sent me or whatever. So I go over to the address. It's like this apartment complex. I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. I have a licensed gun. I'm fine. I make sure, especially with doing deals with people as an adult, I don't just do stupid stuff without being, having protection on me at least. So I'm going there, and I'm fully aware that I'm, make sure I'm safe. And I get there or whatever, and I start calling him. The calls, it stopped going through. And then when it stopped going through, the first red flag for me was it's a text now number. I never noticed that it's a text now number because of the fact that he picked up when I called him before, right? So I'm like, that's the first thing. I'm like, yo, what the hell? And I'm in this freaking apartment place. These ain't no luxury apartments either. You know what I'm saying? I'm in regular apartments. I'm looking kind of crazy right now. I have a nice car and shit. I'm looking kind of crazy. Yo, where am I at right now?
And you went by yourself?
Yeah, by myself. Trying to sell sneakers like I regularly do it. And it's the first time that something really like this has really occurred, though, to be honest. And then the kid calls me off another number, probably text now number, right? I answer, and he's all scrambled. He's like, oh, yo, where are you? Don't leave. I told I was texting, yo, I'm about to leave. Texting through the app, I'm about to leave. And then he called me or whatever. He came downstairs, took mad long. Came downstairs. And then when he gets to the car, I'm thinking, easy thing. I got the money, you got the shoes. I got the shoes, you got the money. Boom, I'm out. Hey, can you pull over here? Second red flag. Why you gotta pull up? Can I pull up closer to my crib? That's when I was like, okay. I'm already on alert, but I'm like, yo, I want the money right now. I don't know. He's being weird right now.
Because you were selling him the shoes.
Shoes, yeah. So
okay.
He goes, what size are they? At that point, once we get to the next spot, he goes, what size are they? At that point, I'm like, what? Oh, at that point, I'm like, what? What size? At that point, I knew it was fish. The whole shit was smelly. Because you're going to ask me, you about to spend $100 on these shoes, right? $400 on these shoes, right? And you don't know what size. That's what I knew was bro, what? What are you talking about? That's what so my next question was what he asked me what size. I said 9.5, right? He's like, oh, okay, can I try them on? And I was like, where's the money? That's what I was like, yo, where's the money? He was like, oh, I'm going to cash app you. I was like, you're going to cash app me? And I remember texting him earlier, you got cash. Gary, I was like, yo, you have cash before I start making sure the type of payment I'm receiving. Because I'm not just pussyfooting around this thing. I know I'm coming here to get some money. So I want to make sure you have the cash. You go to the ATM. You do what you got to do, So I have the two. Do you know what I'm saying? So I get there or whatever, and he's like, oh, no, I'm going to do cash app or whatever. I'm like, cash app? That's how you gonna pay? How is you gonna pay cash app? I was like, okay, I can take cash. I can take cash app. What's the cash app tag? At this point, I'm not gonna give you the shoe to try on. What's the cash app tag? He's like, oh man, you go inside and get Wi-Fi. Right back.
So you saw him, and then he goes back inside.
He goes up the stairs, walks to where you turn to where I can't see of the side of the apartment. Call him. 5 minutes. Waited. Left. I was like, this man was gonna rob me. Gonna put on these damn shoes and bust a move, man. So it gets crazy. That's another thing why it's you kind of gotta avoid.
You gotta have somebody that goes with you to these.
Usually I do. It's one of the very few times I go. I've gone alone. I always go during the daytime, regardless. But yeah, one of the few times.
Is there other people you've heard of crazy stories of stuff happening to people?
Not personally. No, honestly, no, not yet.
No.
But I could imagine there is. That's what I'm saying. On the opposite side, I haven't, but I'm pretty sure there is. Yeah. Right. That's the reason why I make sure I go. The way I go, because I'm like, dude, I don't want anybody crazy trying to rob me or anything like that. But
damn. Sneaker world, but apparently there's money in it.
No, it's quick money depending on what you buy it for. There's a couple pages that I follow. I think kicks 889, 689. And he gets a lot of sneakers. They're usually used, but they're super under like what even used pairs like on GOAT and stuff like that would go for. So like buying them are like most times from him are like instant profit, right? Because once you get to a certain point, like I believe that's the point that he's at because of the type of stuff that he gets and all that stuff's legit. He has everything that he needs. You know what I'm saying, to provide the proof. So when you get to the point where he's at, where it's like you get so much of it, you know, you can't get it all off fast enough, right? So it's like instead of holding it, you just need to get your money, you know, and keep it pushing, you know. Even if it's like $100, even if it's $50, you know, let the other guy get the deal for the other 100 or the other 50, but cut him the deal just so you can continue to move what you need to move because you just have so much. So there's a few sharks like that, you know, and he's one of them. And those are like good guys to go to when it comes to like buying stuff because most times it's used because he gets a really good deal on somebody who's probably desperate or he has people who gets the desperate deal that he gets it somehow consistently. Right? But he gets the good deal, you know. So there's a lot of people like that. There's a few people, but he's one that I just know for sure. My boy Bobby put me on. I was wondering, like, bro, there was a time and point where, like, every week I was getting a shoe and it was under retail from Bobby, but I'll get the receipt from Foot Locker. And the guy was just buying the sneakers. The other guy was just buying all the sneakers just to get the Foot Locker points. The shoes weren't shoes that were gonna hold, right? So they were shoes that they'd resell for an additional $50, like after release day, probably for a week, right? When it's like hype, when everyone just knew the shoe came out. Probably after that week, it'd go back to like retail price, or you know maybe like $20 over retail price. So later on, it'll just be like a little brick, pretty much. But in that little period, you know, getting it $20 under retail because he just wanted to get his points for Foot Locker and get the money back. Right? Because that's what it is. You're just getting refunded, right? So he just takes the cost of the tax or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then he just gets his points, and then you get a shoe damn near under retail or at retail, depending on what shoe. And then you sell it for the little $50 bonus that you're going to get for the weekend while it's hot. And, you know, you can get it while it's hot because the next weekend, that $50 probably going to be exactly, you know what I'm saying, at retail. If you paid retail, then you cut in right there. But if you paid under, you still make like $20 some.
So the key is to buy it and sell it quick.
Yeah, buy it under. But the thing is, I have a very like in-depth understanding of timing when it comes to like the shoes and stuff. So that's why I speak about it the way I do. It's like I know it's like a stock, just like you said. Like I know the key times to buy or to sell a shoe, right? So the best time to buy a shoe usually are before the shoe comes out. And I'm gonna tell you why. Even though people who buy shoes are gonna look at me like, oh, that don't make sense. It's overpriced before it comes out. It's over retail. I'll explain that after. But like, you either buy it before it comes out or you buy it the day it comes out, right? Because first thing you buy it before it comes out, right? Because those are all the back doors, and that's when the shoe doesn't have a correct price, right? Right? It doesn't have a correct bargain price. So let's say a shoe is going to be $2,000, right? After it comes out because it's so rare, right? But before it comes out, right? Early release is $1,200, right? You're not going to know that. You're going to think not to buy that. It's probably you're going to try to go get it for retail on the day it come out still. Right, you're not even gonna attempt to buy that at $1,200. A lot of times there's shoes that are like that, like Unions and different shoes, where it's $500-$600 before it even comes out on StockX or these other websites who have people who get back doors, right? And then once it comes out and they're sold out and it won't come out no more, when it will not come out no more, now after a year, boom, 2,000. 2,500 because guess what? People wearing the shoes, people put stains on the shoes, people crease the shoes, people lost the shoe, people burn the shoe.
Yeah, dude.
Come on, bro. After it's over, like that's when the price is gonna hit. But if you buy it, if you're thinking about it from a stock purpose, like you're not thinking about it, I'm trying to be fresh right now. You're thinking about it from I'm about to make my money grow. And you see like something that you know is revolutionary coming out before it even come out, and you're like, damn, it's only 500. But based on how things go, it's probably going to be a limited release. It's not going to handle that. I say in a year, it's probably going to be a $2,000 shoe, $1,500 shoe. Boom, you buy it. Boom. Sometimes right after, based on how it goes, you get that money right back because of how quick it goes up in value when it's scarce, right? But then the time to purchase on release day is also a great time because that's when that's when the shoe's everywhere. But the thing is, there's 2 times of shoes everywhere, right? So there's online purchases now, and there's still in-person purchases, right? So the time to get the shoe is when the shoe's in person, right? So you get the best deal when it's in person, when it's the Steve, Timmy, or Peter that went to the store that day and got lucky and just bought the sneaker, doesn't know any value about what it is, just got a sneaker and knew it was hot at the moment. He doesn't really resell shoes, he just got a good deal because he was at the mall at the right time, right? There's situations like that. There's people who actually do understand, right? But they have too much, like I said, Bobby, right? So they might give you their ticket, you go get one at retail, right? Or there's also the person who it doesn't have too much bread and trying to do a quick flip, but understands the game a little bit, but just wants to use it for the quick little bread that they can get, right? So they'll cut you a good deal just so they can get the shoe off their hands so they get their money back in their pocket, right? Because they can't really foot the bread like that. They just want to get a quick little deal, right? So there's different people you're dealing with, but at the best time to reach all those people are going to be at the day that the shoe comes out. Right, so that's when you're sourcing for shoes, you're cutting deals, and you're asking for ridiculously low prices, obviously, because you know that you can get it for damn near what it costs, right? And that's when you grab it. Essentially, you grab it then, and you grab it before, right? And then after that point, it's inevitable that the shoe's gonna go up eventually, you know.
But this is just what type? Like they got to be Nike, they got to be Reebok or
no,
something.
it could be any brand. Potentially, it could be any brand. It just depends on how much media the shoe is getting, who created the shoe, what is the shoe created for, the purpose of the shoe, how many of the shoes there are. Is really the biggest things. But when you identify those things, then you kind of like, you know, there's other things like colors when you get really into it that you start to realize are colors that work. Like for me, like most people don't know, but I'll give up the hint. Like if you know any, you know, Jordan 1, Dunk, anything like that, any Nike based like shoe, like or like original template shoe, you'll see that the ones that do the best are the ones with the white canvases and solid colors, right? But that's just because I know, right? That's not something that like, you know, it's something I just know. That like, because it's blue and has a white canvas, it's probably gonna go way better than the blue and black canvas. It's just not gonna do the same thing. It just won't. It's just not. It just won't do it. It's just off. It's just this trip. I guess it's a style thing, but to me, it's just like a code. Like it's just like one of those things that just it's not gonna do it. It's gonna do it or it's not gonna do it. And certain color things, even depending on if it's not as memorable based off the reason it was made, just based off the color. I could figure it out because of that. Like there was some Jordan mids. They're mids. Like they're supposed to sit on a shelf forever. Very few mids ever do anything, right? I'm at the store. I'm buying some shoes for Julian. I'm seeing some shoes that are like Kelly size. The shoes just came out. And I bought these mids. But the reason why I bought them is because I'm telling you. It was like a carbon fiber, like black. It was like Jordan 1 mid. And it had a white canvas. So it's just like a black and white Jordan 1 mid. Like, how's that not gonna like sell out and go stupid? It's a super common color, it's a white canvas. Like, dude, what? Like, so I bought it, bro. I think like 2-3 weeks later, a month later, I started seeing people resell on an offer up for more than what I paid for it. It's a Jordan 1 mid. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing an offer for like $150. I'm like, bro, it was like $89. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn. Like, that's an example of understanding just stuff that isn't a part of, you know, things that you can look up and read. Like, that's just something
you just
that you
gotta
just
know.
know.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta know the
if you've
market.
been looking at it long enough, it's one of those things, you know, like people look at charts all day and they see little spikes and they tell you all this craziness about this damn spike. And you have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, but they know what the hell, like they see the spike.
Yeah.
They see the spike, they know that the spike is consistent, they understand it. So, yeah, no, for sure. It's just, yeah, I've been looking at it for so long. There's so many things that like, I don't, like, I just understand when it's going to do, even when it's things that other people don't believe it's going to be, you know, typically, you know.
That's dope. So looking over here, moving on to something else now, you recently, well, I don't know, I don't want to say recently, right? But you got into
last
this.
year, like the last like 6, 7, 8 months.
You got into this stuff, Zay. What got you into the is this called drag racing or is this just like spin outs or whatever you call it?
This is drifting, man.
Drifting, yes, that's what it is. What got you into this?
Oh, man, I went out one day, man, and I just like, I seen cars drifting. Right? And essentially, I'm like, yo, first day you go out there, you're like, I've never drifted my car. You guys are freaking insane. It's kind of nuts. Right? And then it became an ongoing thing. I wanted to play the games now. I wanted to start drifting the car in the game, to download it, Grand Theft Auto with the drifting, like the PC drifting things with the custom place servers and stuff. Started doing it on there. Then my boy got the little thing, started going over his crib trying to drift it, learned how to do it on the game. And I was like, dang, I feel like I could drift this car. Because my other boy, essentially, is how we even got into it. He started drifting on the game, and then one day he drifted his car. And it does the whole, like, feedback and everything, like, resistance and stuff. So, like, but, yeah, it started off from there. And then, yeah, I just wanted to experience it. And it's really one of those things where it's like, you can die. You can die, and you only live once. And you want to, it's not something I'm going to go get a car and drift right now. Like, the last time I drifted was when the guys were down here last time. I did like a manji or something. But, like, it's not something that you just do, right? It's just, the reason why people, do sports or skateboard or do ballet or, do anything like that, the reason why is because in specific, precise moments in each of these activities, there's a moment in time where a human is perfectly aligned with perfection. And for that brief moment, you get a sense of bliss that this person gets from getting that, right? Whether it's making that three-point shot, you know what I'm saying, or whether it's grinding on a rail, right? There's this little period of time of perfection where this human accomplished something that's probably very difficult, right? And it's a peaceful thing. Like, it's literally perfect, right? Because if you mess up, you're either going to fall off that skateboard, you're going to miss the shot, or you're going to crash your fucking car. You know what I'm saying? So it's that. I can't explain it, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
so drifting, I went into it thinking it's some easy shit. And I think everybody who looks at it thinks it's easy shit, so they just fly, oh, it's a fucking little kid, easy shit. But when you realize how difficult it actually is to maneuver a vehicle that way, then it's a different respect. Then it's like, okay, I want to catch this perfect moment in time myself.
Yeah.
Because it's actually pretty hard to catch this perfect moment in time. So the people who catch this moment in time, I know what the fuck they had to go through to catch this moment in time. I just woke up and I got it. Nah, you fuck around and crash and do some shit like that. Like,
I've watched videos of guys just getting slammed. By the car.
It's
just standing there watching.
It's essentially, to explain it with just words, right? The way it would work, drifting, the way it works is you add gas to the car. You make the car, well, first off, the car has to be without traction, ADS off, all these things off. You turn these mechanisms off that are designed to stop the car when this car starts going out of control, right? You want it to go out of control so you can control it manually, right? So essentially, you turn these things off, and then you use the gas, whether you start from not moving or moving. You can do either way. You can start from not moving or moving either way. But you use the gas, essentially, to make the car lose traction, make the car slip, make the car slide, make the car lose grip, right? So now, instead of moving forward, the tires are just moving, like just burning itself, right? So once you get that, you can do that either in brake or out brake. But that's where you can, slow yourself down or let yourself go. But because the tires are spinning, that doesn't mean the car is just going to tack up and move. No, they're still spinning. So even though you let go of the brake, it's still gonna spin, right? So you have to set up the car where you turn it to an angle, right? And you push yourself into the spin. Once you push yourself into the spin, the car operates the complete opposite way. All right, the car does not drive like how you would drive like this. The car now drives in a completely different angle. So you're gonna catch the car in the angle that it can drive in. Depending on how much gas you put, depending on which angle, you're going to be able to catch the car to drive in, right? Sometimes it's wider, sometimes it's tighter. This is all based off how much gas and how fast you're going, right? But you catch it, right? And once you catch it, you keep it in this angle, right? While the car is still driving in this angle. And that's how you maintain it. So now if you want to go this way, you have to go back the opposite way, right? To then catch it again to keep it going. Right, so it's a constant. You get what I'm saying? It's a constant reversing.
How many tires have you gone through, Zay?
Like 4, but it's like you have to
4 sets of tires.
No, not 4 sets. Not 4 sets. Like a set and a half.
Jeez.
7.5, like probably like.
And you have a Benz.
Yeah,
That's not cheap
7.5.
tires.
Nah, but when you go out there, you make connections. You meet
Yeah. Oh
people,
yeah. I think you
deals.
told me you get these.
And yeah, I get deals for like my car. I get deals for like tires. I get deals for all that stuff. So it makes it even more enticing to do this type of thing.
Yeah. That's
But you get a deal.
wild.
But it's a total respect that you get. Like having to catch a car while it's out of control, like that understanding. Like this is an understanding that you have to get from a situation where people would normally be losing their life. This is a situation.
Yeah,
where
and I was about to say
people
you
would
can't
normally-
panic.
Yeah, this is a situation where people would normally lose their life, or people would know. Well, this is something that happens to people when they hydroplane, when they did it. You're forcing this situation upon yourself, right? And then you're controlling it. It is the most liberating thing to control a wild beast. It is the most liberating thing. It's you know, it's when you have everything under control. It's the best feeling.
I've never drifted. I mean, let me not say never, because the story I'm about to tell, I drifted, but it wasn't on purpose. But like, you see how that car is going around like that in circles?
Yeah.
I ended up doing that in a Mustang GT. It was an X-race car with a short clutch kit, manual. Right? I went to, this was back in my day. You're not going to remember this because you never been there. But it was this club called Club Crave on South Beach, right?
Yeah.
So I go there with a few of my friends, and a friend of mine, I used to play football with him in high school. He played for FSU and stuff after that. Antoine Marambo. So he's the one that owned the car, right? And he used to just fly through the streets all the time. Like the stuff we was sitting in that car doing, like you see how you're doing this, and I'm like, Zay, you need to stop that. Yeah. Like the stuff we was doing in his car and other cars, we should have stopped that. And thank God we're still here. Like literally, like we would be in the car and we'd be driving. We're gonna go to South Beach, and he'll just turn off the lights and run through every light, run through every stop sign, and just be flying. Like literally, we would get to South Beach in like 10 minutes. Yo, it was wild.
Yo, that's wicked.
We used to do wild stuff like that, right?
That's wicked.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was so stupid what we were doing.
That's nuts.
So we go to the club.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so we go to the club, we have a great time. This is back when, and I was never a heavy drinker, but I had a few drinks that night, so I was like out of it. And a couple of drinks was just, I would be done, right? So I had a couple of drinks, and then he was just plastered. He couldn't even walk, really. He just stood in front of the club, and he was like, Rick, can you go get the car, man? I can't drive. I was like, yeah, you're not driving. I'm going to drive, even though I was a little tipsy myself. So I go to the car. Now, you know Collins.
Okay.
There's cars on this side, there's cars on this side, and it's only 2 lanes in the middle, right? So I get in the car and I just sit back for a second. I sit back and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I gotta drive like a block or 2 to get to him. I'm forgetting that I'm in his car. I drive stick all the time, stick shift cars all the time. And I'm forgetting that I'm in his car that has all this power. And I'm like this, and then I just...
Oh, shit.
And I just hit the gas. Yo, the car spun like 2 or 3 times in the middle of the street. Just, and just started spinning.
Yo.
And I didn't hit one car.
Yo.
I didn't hit one car. The car literally was spinning around just in 2 lanes, like this, in one space like this. And it stopped, and I stopped, and I was like, oh, shoot. Damn. And there's people like out on the street looking at me like, damn, what is this kid doing? And then I slowly tapped the gas. I mean, literally had like, you know how they say a gun has a hairpin trigger? This car had a hairpin gas pedal. Like any little bit, like the car would fly. Yeah. And then I literally just tapping it all the way until I got in front of the club to pick him up. I was like, yo, this car, it was way too powerful. Funny, not a funny thing. Crazy thing, he had that car for years. Never got into an accident. All that stuff I'm telling you we're doing. Going to the club, driving to Coconut Grove, running through running through stop signs, like all this stuff never crashes it. This guy, he ends up meeting this girl, gets married. I don't know if it's the girl who convinces him, but he wants to be an adult. Says, you know what? I'm going to sell this car before something bad happens. Sells the car, buys an Explorer, Ford Explorer, black. I don't even think 6 months after buying the car, get into a crazy accident.
What?
With that car. This Mustang that he had for years, that he was doing all this crazy stuff, never got into an accident. Gets in an F1 in a Ford Explorer. I'm talking about totals the car.
Jesus Christ.
Totals the car.
Jesus Christ,
yeah. All right, so I did say we're gonna go to my page. I think we're nearing the end of this now. And this was good. Look, you had 6 posts and we went an hour and a half.
Hey man, you did something.
That's crazy, right? All right. So here's what we'll do. I'm not gonna go through my whole page like this, but I'll slide through, scroll through it, and you pick 1 or 2 posts that you see, and whatever catches your eye about it, you ask me about it, and I'll tell you whatever about that post. All right. Now I'm gonna use my regular personal page. I'm not gonna use my FlickRick page because it's fairly new, and I haven't really posted much on there. Well done. Here it is right here. When I get more stuff on my FlickRick page, then I use it. This is some posts from my other episodes. But yeah, I'm going to keep going down. And then if you see something that catches your eye, you just stop me and we'll talk about it.
Go back up. Right there.
Which one?
Right there with the hat.
This?
Yeah. Where you at right there?
So this is earlier this year. I went to Haiti to film a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is where I'm at right now is the Citadel. You ever heard of the Citadel?
I think I've heard of Citadel before.
The Citadel is one of the wonders of the world, and one of them is in Haiti. This is a fort that was built by the Haitians. You see it up there? But like it's but like it looks small right there. It's massive. I'm far away from it right now. That's why it looks so small. But it's massive. This is me and my boy Greg. You have to take horses to get there. You see how small we are right here?
Yeah,
you see how big it is up there? And it goes further.
What is this?
It's a fort. It's called the Citadel. The Haitians, after they beat the French in 1804, they built this fort so that they're able to sit up high and watch the ships come in and out. So in case the French came back, they could defend themselves. So this thing had like cannons from back in those days, the balls from the cannon still sitting in those windows. But they never finished the construction. It was close to finish, but they never ended up finishing it because the guy Toussaint Louverture, whatever name, the French ended up killing him. They came back and tricked him into coming onto the ship because they said, "Oh, we want to talk to you. We're going to bring you back to France so you can speak to the queen or whoever was there." And when he got on the ship, they killed him. But this is what they built. I forget the name of the leader at that time who did this. I think Christophe, one of them guys. But yeah, that's what this is, man. So I know you haven't been to Haiti yet.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting to go.
But this, whenever you go, this is one of those places you definitely. This is in Cap Haitian. The views was beautiful. And yeah, we had to ride the donkeys up there, the horses up there. And then the guides, these guys right here, they're the guys who would walk you with the horses. They each own a horse. So of course, you got to give them a little tip. And then they would stop and take your pictures for you, give them your phone, and they'll take pictures for you. It was a great experience. This was like one of our off days where I think this was like a Saturday where we had an off day and we all went up there. This is Bashir. He's an actor. He's actually from here. He's Haitian too. But great actor. Great actor. You know Rose. That's Rose right there. She was there with us.
That's crazy.
But yeah. This is the Citadel. That was our DP right here, Lionel. I don't remember who this was. But yeah, that's the Citadel. That was my trip to there. My first time. Do you know there's people in our family who are like Monique J.I., my mom, your mom, all of them, they've never been to this place.
That's never been there?
Never been to this place.
That's crazy.
No, actually, I think Monique J.I. said he might have went once when he was young. I don't know if he went all the way up in there, but I think he said he'd been up in that area before. All right, let's check out another one. You let me know when you want me to stop.
Go back up.
Well,
Skylar.
Skylar?
Yeah.
That's my moon pie right there.
What is this?
My sky, my moon. This is at Aventura Mall. I forget I don't forget what time it was, but I think they have this all the time, but they maybe change the decor around all the time. But there's this store where the Apple store used to be downstairs. There's a company that they built out all these cool little spots where you can like go in and take pictures. And you can take your own pictures, or you can get a photographer in there to take pictures. But there's like all these cool backdrops like this.
Yeah, it's cool.
And Skylar wanted to go in there, so I took her in there and took some pictures.
Yeah, it's dope.
And she loved it, man. And she likes when I give her like this right here. I gave her some direction because she was just gonna start walking. I was like, "No, babe, spin around and
she's like a ballerina.
do something," you know. And she had just started doing ballet at this time, so she was all into that. Yeah, that's my baby right there. Yeah, this was I think this was last year. When is it? What is this? No. This was earlier this year. Yeah, this was earlier this year. But yeah, man. So, one thing that I like to ask everybody when I'm at the end of the post, you know, is when you do post, like, you know, you just left these 6 posts up and you just have a few things that you post. Tell me about like what do you post to say? When you post what you post, what is it that you're trying to share with the world? What is it that you're trying to tell the world? Because obviously you're sharing something, but what is it that you want people to know about you, your experiences, and just life for you?
Shoot. I don't know. I'm just a jiggy ass nigga, man. I'm fresh as hell, man. You know, like, definitely, I'm just a fresh ass motherfucker, man. Like, like I said, the premise for my social media was really, like, early on it was for this, like, it changed as I got older. It was for music, and, you know, I did different things, and it became predominantly for building a portfolio. I think I told you this at one point, building a portfolio and getting gigs, which I successfully did on a super small scale, but just enough to make money, you know? And that's what it was for. And I accomplished that. I accomplished being able to, something that I did for free for a very long time and did for other people. And yeah, monetized on a small scale prior, but just by myself without having to hustle, monetize being on the internet. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was really about anyway. So, you know, that's what I expect people, you know, I guess, look at. That's what that's there for. That's what it's actually, that's the purpose of it being there. Now, as for like posting and constantly being on there, that's something, like I told you now, like I'm getting away from. You know, the older I get, the less amount of attention I want. So I still want to do videos and stuff like that. And I mentioned YouTube and Twitch and things like that, but those things I don't even promote on Instagram, actually. Like, I believe those are completely separate entities. That the people that are on my YouTube and stuff have been there forever, right? And the people I don't even know, a lot of the people. And I just think they're completely separate entities. And I feel like I said, this was just for that. Like, I feel like in order to cater to the people, even in the YouTube space and other things that I want to do now, I would have to make a whole other one. Right, I have to make a whole different one that's catered to the YouTube and videos and stuff like that. This specifically is literally for agencies and, you know, I'm getting more gigs. If I wanted to get another photo shoot from a photographer or something, this is what I would show him, you know. So it's very for professional and monetization purposes, you know. So take me serious, I guess, is what it's there for. You know? Okay.
Well, you know, as we wrap this up, Zay, I want to say, you know, I'm very proud of you. Sure. You know, you've grown up to be, you know, a good guy. You know what I mean? You're not what I think, and I hope I'm wrong about this, because I kind of feel like kids should be more business minded, and you are that. You know, you handle your business. You're a father. You didn't fall into a lot of the craziness. You know, we all have had our struggles and different things that, you know, we've gone through. You know, but at the end, I have high hopes for you. You know what I mean? I know you're gonna do well. And at 25, with all the experiences that I know you've gone through, good and bad, for you to be here and you're 25. by the time you're my age, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
you're going to be living in a mansion with a beautiful home and the wife and kids, and you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be like your dad.
Sooner than later.
You're gonna, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're
Sooner
gonna be doing well. So I'm actually not worried about you. I'm worried about you, but not worried about you in a bad way, because I just know you're gonna do well. You know what I mean? And you know, thank you for always, you know.
Nah, thank you, man.
And thank you for always trusting me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of kids. Again, I don't want to mean to call you a kid, but like a lot of young people, they don't listen to the advice. And I see how you apply advice. You know what I mean? Yeah. You formulate it, and you might turn it into your own, but
own something else.
Yeah, but you take it in and you consider it at least. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever had sat down to like advise you on anything, and you just make me feel like you didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You took it in and you took what you want from it and you turned it into your own, but at least you take the time to listen, and that's a great quality to have in anything that you do in your life. You know what I mean? Don't ever feel like you know it all. You know what I mean? You know, like I said, this is the season finale show episode.
That's hard.
You know what I mean? And
tough.
It was fun. It was great.
That's tough.
And when I start the next season, hey, listen, I need you on the next season. You're gonna be one of my partners on this thing. I need you to come in. I need you to give me that flavor for my, you know, like you see me wear these suits. You know I don't wear suits all the time. You know the real reason why I'm doing this.
Start coming here looking like Steve Harvey.
You know the reason why I do this, right?
Why?
My pops. When my dad was my age and when he was younger, this is all he wore was suits.
You know what's crazy? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm 25 this year. And I told myself when I was in high school, I swear, I was a fresh motherfucker in high school, boy. And I was in high school. Like, I remember telling myself, like, all this sneakers, even then I was like into the clothes and all that. I was like, all this stuff, I'm giving up. When I turned 25. Now I'm 25. I'm like, yo, give me some more time.
Yeah. Don't do it. Because when I was around, when I was 23 going on 24 is when I gave up being, not that I went too horrible, but like I used to be fresh all the time.
Yeah.
And when I decided to get into film when I was 23, I said I want to let go of everything that I feel is going to stop me from doing
Really?
that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never even used it as that but yeah.
Yeah, no, because I was so into it. Like I had to get and I never bought Jordans, but I had to just I always had to, you know, and then I was like, yo, this is like taking over too much. But you know the main reason why is because the fresher I was, the more I wanted to go out. There was more women. There was more this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you don't get dressed just to sit home by yourself.
Yeah, no, you got to go somewhere.
You got to go somewhere. You got to do something. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
For me to clear my like mind and from everything, I gave all that up.
Yeah.
Just so I could focus. And but you don't have to. You don't have to. I did it. And now when I think about it, I'm like, nah, I could have still had fun doing it.
Yeah, just the way you got it. You know, you got to
you just gotta
make it make sense. You know,
exactly.
you can't just have it.
Financially and everything, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so next season, everybody, if you see my shows looking great, I'm looking better. You know, my styling and everything is looking better. Zaido, my little cousin, he's the one that's and you're my godson.
Yeah.
That's crazy. My first god. Well, you're not my first godchild. Second.
Yeah.
You know who I wanted to be my first godson, right?
Who's your godchild? Who's before me?
Marissa.
Marissa's younger than me, Rick. You always be doing this. That's why you do this.
Oh,
you don't give me no credit. Though.
You're the first one for.
Damn,
you know what it is?
Credit, yo.
It's because Marissa's so much bigger. I don't know why I'm thinking Marissa was first. It is you that's first.
Man, that's sick.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Hold on. No, you're August. She's September. Yeah, you're right. No, she's October.
October. She's October.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're older. Okay. So you're my first godchild.
Yeah,
but
man.
you know, D'Artagnan.
Oh, but that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Oh,
she gave it to Monix. Yeah.
Monix. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So thank you, Zay.
That's crazy.
This was great.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
No, thanks for having me.
All right. Go.